probably play Protoss or something since we just did Zerg coaching. And I can talk you guys through that. For now, guys, let's do this little tutorial on settings. So, settings. Now, if you guys want more info on this, down below the stream in the FAQ, there is actually a blog I put up many years ago talking through most of the different settings. But let's talk through it. Okay, so first things first, I'm in-game. Screw that, guys. Why are we looking at in-game settings? No. No. First thing first, search for mouse. And you want to open this, and it's going to come up with this terrible menu. Because if you've got Windows 10, no. Additional mouse options. So do whatever you've got to do in Windows to find your mouse properties. You might need to go into Control Panel and then search in Control Panel there. I know you had to do that in Windows 8. So you might have to go Control Panel and then search up here in the top right because it won't show up. You need to actually open Control Panel and then search for it because Microsoft are evil. And they like people having to do really roundabout things to fix their settings. So now I've got keyboard properties and mouse properties open. So here's what you want to do, guys. You want to check your pointer options. This is the tab that's important for mouse. Now, select a pointer speed should usually be neutral, 6 out of 11, so that your mouse isn't skipping pixels at all. And this button here is by default turned on. And you might be so used to this you can't change, but I think everyone should try turning this off because this is actually mouse acceleration. It means as your mouse is moving, it speeds up across the screen and it ruins your ability to get consistent muscle memory because the mouse is always moving at different speeds. So turning that off is one of the nicest things you can do, and making sure that's relatively neutral is also really good. Okay, more important, keyboard properties. This is something everybody should change no matter what their preference. Mouse is a bit more preference-based, guys. Go to the speed tab in your keyboard, and both of these should be on the far right-hand side. By default, I think that'll be like that. You'll have the repeat delay there. Now, what does this change? If I want to build 20 Zerglings, I can hold down Z, and notice how quickly I just queued up 40 Zerglings there. Now, what if I have these settings on the opposite? Let's queue up Zerglings by just holding, remember, all I'm doing on my keyboard, guys, is holding down Z. Oh my lord, it takes forever to do anything. So this allows you to actually just build units quicker by holding down that key, especially important for Zerg, but also for Terran if you're queuing up a lot of Marines, and same if you're queuing up maybe like a whole bunch of Zealots or something, I don't know. Mostly for Terran and Zerg, but something you really want to make sure that's both on the far right-hand side. Apply both of those. That's your Windows settings, your mouse and keyboard. Now let's go in-game and talk about some settings. Now we're in the sound menu, no one cares. Graphics menu, no one cares. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter, those keys. You can look up, there's some stuff about seeing invisible units in graphics settings. Doesn't matter, who cares? Let's go to mouse and keyboard. Now I personally don't enable mouse sensitivity, but mouse sensitivity, as I mentioned before, is very personal. It's totally your choice where you put your mouse sensitivity at. I choose not to use it, I just use the DPI settings on my mouse. So that's my own preference. This one here is the really big one, which people don't know about, which is mouse scroll speed by default is on 20%. And this means whenever you move your mouse to the edge of your screen will pan so slowly that you can't really get anything done. But that should be somewhere between a minimum of 50% and a maximum of 100%. I put mine at 88. I don't know why. Anyway, 88 and 90 works for me. But that's something you really want to have turned up. Disable Windows key is always a nice one, of course. But let's go to gameplay. And we want to have health bars always on. I had that off just for casting some games. We want to turn display experience points on because then it's very easy to see when units are dying because there's beautiful numbers popping up. It also allows you to see when invisible units die or burrowed units die underground because the experience points will pop up above them. So if you're not sure if you killed something that was burrowed or underground with your splash damage, suddenly this helps you out. Now, enable enemy unit selection, that's turned off by default. Turn that on so you can check your opponent's upgrades. You can click on their buildings, their units to see what it is that you're scouting, what it is that you're facing off against. Show current order indicators, a nice little thing. It's not particularly important. Enable simple command card does not need to be on. You can untick that. It doesn't matter really. You probably want it turned off actually, I think, as a beginning player. Always show worker status, that needs to be on. That tells you how many workers you have mining on a base. And display build grid is very helpful because it helps you show the actual grid of how many squares your buildings are taking up. It helps you place buildings. Select all lavas disabled. Why, says APM. This isn't important, but the reason I have that disabled is I actually like to tell specific lava to build into specific things, because sometimes what I like to do is I actually like to build the lava in a certain spot, whether it be to block and help protect, say, a queen that's wedged in a gap, or it's just so that the unit pops out closer to what I want it to do. It's like a very OCD high level thing. It's not something you need to worry about, but I personally just prefer the ability to select my lava individually. So that's just my thing. Unit life bars, always, because it allows you to spot spellcasters in your opponent's army very easily, because they'll have purple bars popping up above them. I know some very good Grandmaster players who don't use that. They just use damaged, and as a result, they often don't realize when there's High Templar in the middle of a Protoss army, and they get destroyed by Storm. Control groups doesn't matter. Show Flyer Helpers should always be on always as well, because that actually, you'll notice, because the game isn't actually top down, you're kind of on like a 45 or sorry, a 90-degree angle. Air units actually always look like they're in a different spot to where they are, but the Flyer Helper actually gives a line that goes down. There's like this thin line below each flying unit with a little circle on the ground. So when you're aiming spells at the flying unit, you actually aim at the circle on the ground, which is beneath the unit, rather than the image of the Mutalisk flapping there or anything like that. 90, 40, 70, it's like 70 degrees. I'm good with my angles, all right, Tim Slap. Don't make fun of me, my dude. And that's about it, guys. I think that's all the settings for now. So hopefully that helps some of you guys out. You can always go in and modify your hotkeys however you prefer. Yeah, we don't learn that stuff in Australia. Up is down, down is up. We're all morons. Sorry, guys. So guys,